All right, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening, everybody? Let's go live, y'all. Let's get this thing going right off the break, man. Hey, I just want to open this up again with one of my country songs, man. And this is how pretty much y'all get rest of this, man. Because I want y'all to go out here and buy this. These they're already on Spotify, up on Apple Music. So wherever you're streaming music from, here we go, y'all.
Sunday shine on her shoulders, coffee steam, cotton t-shirt. She's laughing at some old movie. I'm lost in
you guys get your pen and your paper ready, man, because we're gonna do a serious deep dive tonight.
I got a woman so fine.
I just like the way that drops in there, man. Couldn't have written any. Couldn't have written anything else. So let's get right off into this while everybody is coming in. Y'all come on in the room. Come on in the room, man. We're gonna do a series deep dive. TikTok up and running, and we got live stream from all of the podcast platforms. So let's get right off into this, y'all. Now, I want y'all to grab your pen and your paper. We're also on YouTube. We're live. Welcome back to Plugged In. This is our podcast where we give you guys information that you need in order to help you be a little bit more successful in life. And tonight, this stemmed off of I was listening to Rickey Smiley earlier today, and Rickey Smiley had this lady on. She was talking about how to protect yourself as employees in an economy that is uncertain. Now, again, you guys have been following me long enough to know that I'm going to open up the questions the last 15 minutes of the live. So save your questions, or you can go ahead and type them in. I got the comments open. So if you guys want to drop your comments, definitely drop your comments, but I will answer them the last 15 minutes. And then I got to get back to work because I'm pulling double duty tonight. I got projects I got to get out of here. So we don't do a whole bunch of back and forth commentary because I got so much information that I want to get out to you guys. And tonight was stemmed off of the Rickey Smiley morning show. And I had this lady on, and she was talking about job security and economic time of so much uncertainty. And it literally made me chuckle a little bit because I'm sitting here with the answer and I want to call in so bad. But my fear with calling people in, not that I know my information is wrong or inaccurate, is that the people can't bear it now. And the majority of the overwhelming population of this country, they can't bear it because they don't understand it. And they never knew it was even possible. And tonight I'm going to be doing a deep dive on how not to go in and put in an application in with a company. I'm going to show you guys how to go and partner with a company. Now, partnering with a company is a lot different than going in and putting in an application. And I'm going to give you guys the how to do that. Because there is such a thing when you understand the proper meaning and the terminology of words. One, write this down. Understanding the difference between a wage and a salary. Now, I'm not playing on anybody's intellect, but this is what I want you to think about. If you really, really knew the difference between a wage and a salary, why are you still approaching a job trying to negotiate a wage? Companies have posted all over the place, wherever you're going in to get employment, whether it's from a temporary place or whether you're going through the want-ass deployment and unemployment office, wherever the case may be. Jobs list their wage that they are willing to pay you. But a salary is only posted in certain periodicals or places that you can find. Now, if you're going to play this game, which I'm going to be giving you guys tonight, if you want to play it this way, I encourage each and every last one of you to go in. If you don't have a LinkedIn page, you need to go in and create you one. And if you have one, you need to go in and update it. Now, this is where the game gets good. I don't turn in applications ever. Haven't turned in an application in the past 10 years. That's what employees do. That's what workers do. W-2 do. Now, when you understand this, especially those of you who are trying to get privatized citizenship and all of those kind of things like this, as a private citizen, you don't turn in the application under no circumstance. This is what I was telling you guys about playing the hokey pokey with your privatized citizenship. See, you can't claim to be a privatized citizen and then you're going out putting applications in as an employee. We don't do that. We don't do that. Now, the biggest misconception is people have termed what we do as being paid under the table. No, that's illegal. You have to operate within the parameters of the United States government because this is where you reside, even though you are living as a private citizen. So you yet and still have to operate under the parameters of the government if you're going to play under the government. And becoming a W-2 employee is operating under the government. I'm going to let that marinate in your spirit for a little bit. We don't turn in applications. We turn in contracts. The proper terminology for us is called a 1099 contract worker, not an employee. There is no such thing as a 1099 employee. And if somebody keeps using that terminology, guess what you're going to be? An employee. Now, this is what I want y'all to do. And I want you to move very fast. If you have it somewhere close to you or near you, if you don't have it near you, I'm going to give you a little bit of time while I'm talking. Go and find your last check stub. Now, most people are doing direct deposits, but you still should receive a stub. So somewhere, if you got it online, on your phone, wherever the case may be, I want you to pull up that check stub, and I am going to show you, this is part 2, how we negotiate our salary, not a wage, not a wage. Write those 2 words down, wage and salary. Look those words up so you can understand the difference in what you are doing. As an employee, you negotiate a wage. This is why they have a such thing as a minimum wage. They can't pay you below this because this is what the government established to say they can't pay you below. But a company has this dollar amount in mind that says that this is what they'll pay you. Now, I don't even know what minimum wage is now. Let's just say $15, right? $15. That's what minimum wage is. I don't even think it's that much. I think it's still, isn't it still $7.25? Somebody drop that in the comments what minimum wage still is. I don't know. I haven't had a minimum wage check in so damn long. But anyway, minimum wage is what the government established. Now, I do know, for instance, like the McDonald's down here, they paying people $15 an hour. And you would think that is a great wage. It's a good wage to flip burgers at McDonald's. But here's the catch-22, where companies trick you into coming in and putting in the application for that $15 an hour. You're only getting 30 hours or less a week. Why is that so important? Why is that so important? That is important because if you are getting part-time hours, they don't have to pay you insurance. All they have to put in is for workman's comp. Now, because you don't make enough hours for it to be paid into insurance. And so this is why they come with that Obamacare or whatever other cheesy insurance plan that they can throw you on just to satisfy the government. That word again, government. But that's what happens to W-2 employees. Now, as a 1099 contract worker, now again, I want y'all to grab y'all W-2 because I'm going to take y'all somewhere. Y'all ain't going to believe this. You won't believe this. Take your W-2 and I want you to write on the back of it what your gross revenue was. That was the gross, your gross before taxes and all that stuff came out, right? Write that on one side of your check stub. And then on the other side, I want you to add up all of your deductions from the insurance, the FDIC, not FDIC, that's at the bank, FICA, FICA, throw that number in there. Your 401k, throw that number in there. Your workman's comp, throw that number in there. Your insurance, throw that number in there. All of your deductions. I want you to add up all of those. And that goes on the other side. So you got your gross revenue on the left, and then you have the sum total of your deductions on the right. Now, and I'm telling you guys, I'm going to tell you how to become a partner in a company and not an employee. First thing first. Now, for those of you who already have current employment, this will be a little difficult, not impossible, but a little difficult, because as an employee, you would have to resign from that company and then talk yourself into being rehired as a partner. Now, how do you become a partner? Let me tell you this. And we right back on the same lines of what we've been talking about for the past week. You have to LLC your name. This is where you register your name. You become the company and not the employee. See, currently, when the job that you're on right now, you went in and got hired, as an employee. You sold your time for dollars. You traded, let me say it like that, better way. You traded your time for dollars. They tell you what time to get up, what time you can go on break, what time, how long you can stay on break, what time you got to be back on the floor, what time you can go home. And then if they come with anything mandatory, guess what? You got to work that too. If they need you to stay an hour over, hey, mandatory. If the whole entire company shut down, let's say it was a major holiday, Christmas, we just passed Christmas, and most companies shut down from Christmas to New Year's, you didn't get paid for those hours, but not us. Contract workers, we got paid. Now, so that's the first thing you have to do. You're going to have to LLC your name and become the corporation, because why? Businesses only talk and converse with other business entities. This is why the owner of the company don't talk to you. You're talking to somebody from HR. You're talking to another help. You're talking to another helper. Somebody that the boss hired. Unless you're in some little small franchise restaurant, but most of the time the manager is the one that hires you. You never ever get to see the owner. Now, under this understanding, let me stay with this line right quick. How much do you think they know? And you're talking to the help. Most times when in the past, if we've gone to try to get a job, who do we go and talk to? We talk to somebody that we know that works at that facility. Because workers talk to workers, bosses talk to bosses. Supervisors talk to supervisors. That's why they all got their own little break area that they go and sit and talk and cut up at. The general manager or the plant manager and the office personnel, they got a whole completely separate break room up there in the front. You have to understand how the chain of command works under this system. So now here it is. You LLC your name. Now you are the business, not even knowing you were the business the whole entire time. Think of this, ladies and gentlemen. You have always been a business. You just never conducted yourself like a business because you didn't know that it was possible. So you only thought of yourself as an employee, asking somebody for a job. Can I please come work for you, Mr. Sir? See, a lot of people won't get this because, again, this is how we have been indoctrinated and raised our whole entire life. We've been taught that from our parents. Go to school, get a good education, and then turn in an application. I don't care if you are a lawyer, a doctor. Guess what? If you don't have your own private firm or law office or law practice, you're going to go and work for another law company employee. Now, you make a better earning, true. Even if you're a doctor, you're going to put in an application at the hospital or the clinic or the doc in the box, urgent care. You are still working for somebody else that tells you and controls your time because they're paying you for your time. So your time is their time as long as you get paid. Now that doesn't mean when you are a contract worker, a 1099, that you don't fall under the parameters of that company. You do. But you have a little bit more leveraging power. Now you got a lot more leveraging power than a W-2. Now, I've been talking to give y'all time to add up all of your deductions on your check stub and your gross revenue if you found the check stub. So now when we go into these establishments, we don't turn in an application. We don't even ask for an application. Because when I walk into a company, I already have my contract in hand. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? If everybody understands what I'm talking about, please drop a 1 in the comment that you know you understand what I'm putting down. Now, here's the thing. Again, employees of that same company don't know what you are doing. They never heard of anybody doing what you are about to do. Employees don't know jack. Now, when you're walking into that establishment and you have, now again, if you're already pre-working there, you have to resign as an employee and then talk yourself into being rehired as a 1099 contract worker, which is a little bit more finagling. One is based on your history with that company, how well they know you, how well they like you, are you a good employee or whatever. Have you established yourself as a viable asset to the company? Now, you ain't got to go in there and be bootlicking. Yeah, I'm not telling nobody to do that. I'm just telling you, you're there to handle your business. You're not caught up into the company gossip. You're not caught up in the mess and trash and all that stuff. You're doing what you're supposed to do to take care of you and yours. Now, so the opportunity or the chances of you being rehired as a 1099 is very high. And that conversation is going to take place with HR, Human Resource Department. Now, why is that? Because the Human Resource Department, he's going to pick up very quickly. He or she are going to pick up very quickly what you are doing. And I can guarantee you $1 to a dime. $1 to a dime. I swear to God, I'll bet anybody on this. They're going to bring you in as a 1099 if you got a good rapport. Because, now, secondly, if you've never worked there and you're looking at changing employment, first thing you got to do, you got to register your name as a business entity. So now your name, your corporation, the corporation, now has an EIN number, an employer identification number. Stop letting these people tell y'all the EIN is an employee. That don't mean employee. It means employer. You are the business that can hire, but you're not going to hire. You are going to partner. Remember I said earlier, businesses talk to other businesses. Now, you're going into this establishment and you drop when you walk in there and you're talking to the receptionist is going to be like, can I help you? Yes, I'm here to turn in a contract for partnership. Now, you just threw her whole day all the way off, her or him. Most of the time, it's a her. In most of these businesses, the receptionist is a woman. You just threw her whole day off. Because the first thing she's going to say is, she or he is going to say, we don't do that. Oh, yes, you do. You just don't know that you can do that. Remember what I said. Employees don't even know that this is possible. If they knew it was possible, then they would be doing the same thing you're doing. So when you go in there and you tell them, hey, listen, I'm here to turn in a contract, not application, contract for partnership, business partnership. Now, she's going to try to pull more info out of you because people are just naturally nosy. And since you just opened up something that she has never heard before, she's going to try to ask you more questions because I don't know why in the world these dadgum people act like guard dogs for the company when they just to help. I swear to God, man, it never fails. These people will pull guard duty like they helping the company out. And you talking over their head the whole entire time. You're talking over their head. But all they know is, ain't nobody here did that before. I've been here 10, 15 years, and ain't nobody ever came and talking about no contract partnership. But see, let me tell you on the back end, that's what's going to help you. She can't help herself by running her mouth. He can't help himself by running his mouth. And by the time you leave there, we're going to circulate from the watering hole, the water cooler, the water fountain on break. She's going to bring that up. She or he is going to bring it up. That's going to help you. I'm going to get to that part in a minute. So with your contract in hand, you say, ma'am, I understand, or sir, I understand. You may not be familiar with this, but please, will you turn my contract in to HR, not the supervisor, nobody else but HR. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you got to be on your P's and Q's. When you turn in that contract, now, let me use myself for an example. When I partner with companies, my contracts are for 18 months. 18 months. 6 months as a trial and error to see if y'all like me, I like y'all. We don't have no problems. And it automatically kicks in after 6 months to finish out the remaining 12 months, 18 months. My contracts don't extend past 18 months. I'm not going to go in there with no 2, 5, 10, 20 years. No. 18 months. 18 months. Now, within that 18 months, I have already done my research on this company. Now, this is where it's going to require for you to do your research on the company that you want to partner with. So you can structure that into your contract. Now, you want to have as much information about this company as possible. So when HR gets it, they start reading, oh, this person is already familiar. Before we even get to the good stuff about negotiating salary and all that kind of stuff. Now, my contract simply states, I am not going to bring any negative attention or bad publicity or bad reviews to the company. That's a standard. You don't want to bring whatever you're doing for that company. You, as a contract worker, you can't bring anything negative, bad to that company. So, therefore, one, you got to stay out of employee mess. You got to stay out of that. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You on contract. You're not an employee. 2, whatever is going on at that job, that ain't got nothing to do with you. You're on contract. 3, you can't be called. If you're one of these people that done had 8 jobs in the past 3 months, don't do this. Do not do this. Do not. You keep your ass as an employee. If you're one of these people that's sickly and you always out of work because you're sick, your dog got cataract, your cat got a hangnail, your baby got this, your baby got that, your husband took the car. Yeah, if you one of them people, don't do this. Don't do this. Because you are bound by contract and not application. Contract, they can take your ass to court. See where we going with this? See where we going? As an employee, they can just fire you. But when you are a contract, they can take you to court and sue you. And vice versa. Now, within my contracts, reason why my contracts are structured 18 months, within them 18 months, me and that company are married. For 18 months, we are married. If y'all can hear me on the podcast, please drop a 1 in the comment. I think everybody can hear me on TikTok, but I want to make sure that everybody hears me on everybody can hear me on podcast. Okay, I can see the lights now. Yeah, I can see the lights. So under that 18 months, they can't fire me. You just can't fire me and say, well, we cutting back. That's not my problem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry y'all cutting back, but I'm on contract. You can go a different direction after my 18 months. I'm on the contract. But I can't go in there and say, hey, man, I don't like this no more, man. This job too hard, or y'all company right here, man. Y'all be tripping. I can't go in there and walk out on them folks. I'm on the contract. Now, here's what the getting gets good. They can't fire me. I can't quit. With that leverage in hand, with that power in my hands. Now, for those of you who wrote up all of your deductions from your check stub, this is where we negotiate. We're not negotiating no dime, 20 cent, 25 cent, 50 cent, $1. We're not negotiating. That's BS money. Because as a 1099 contract worker, we pay our own taxes. So all of that money that came out of your check stub for taxes, that don't come out your check no more, because you are contracted with another corporate entity. So me as a corporate entity, my company pays my own taxes. So all that money, you can add that back to your check. Workman's comp, 401k, that's gone too. That's gone too. Insurance, health, optical, dental, you can add that money back in there too. Now you see where we have negotiating power to get more money, and it's not no dollar. Y'all thought y'all was doing something when y'all was, oh man, they hired at $15. I got them folks up to $16.50. No, what they did, they just gave you 2 years worth of raises up front. You ain't gonna get no raise for the next 2 years. Based on how the interview went, they were gonna give you that money anyway. They're just gonna drag it out of you. But since they liked you and you interviewed well, they just decided to give you an extra $1.50 up front because they feel it's a field game. Contracts ain't a field. Contract is binding. I don't care what they feel when they sign that contract. When they sign that contract, they can have all of the regrets that they want. Me too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's companies, man, that I wish I was like, God, man, it's gonna be a long 18 months. Now you can structure that however you want to. You can structure it 3 months, and then we'll come back and revisit if you want to stay or if they want you to stay. You can negotiate that after 3 months. It don't have to be 6 months. You can negotiate, well, we'll revisit after 12 months. And then if you want to opt out, there's always an opt-out clause in every contract. That's just depending on how you set yours up. Mine, I set mine up 6 months. And we like each other. We're going to keep right on rolling. Then I'll finish out the last 12 months or a year. That's 18 months. 6 months, 12 months, 18. Now, but with all of that money that you just saved, think about it. Y'all see the deductions, all those deductions right there? The company that you work for pays half of your insurance. You pay, no, I think they pay 3/4. If you got Blue Cross Blue Shield, the company pays 3/4 and you pay 1/4, depending on whether you got single coverage or family coverage, whatever the case may be. But whatever money, you have to read your insurance papers to find out just how much the company is paying. But if the company no longer has to pay that, you just saved them a whole boatload of money over time. Now imagine, let's just say your family coverage is, I think the last time I paid on a paycheck, my family coverage was $173. Now that's every week coming out of your paycheck, $173. Now ask yourself, unless you are a sickly person, how many times have you gone to the hospital in the past year that you've been paying $100? Now that's far back as I can remember. I don't know what you pay, but whatever amount you have been paying, you multiply that number by 52 weeks. I guarantee it's in the tens of thousands. Now ask yourself, damn it, I've been paying this much in insurance and I ain't even been to a damn doctor. All I've been doing is going to get my teeth cleaned and an eye exam. But you paying, let's just do, all right, if your insurance is, let's just come up with a nice round number. If your insurance is $200 a week, 10 weeks, that's 10,000. And we got 4 more times to do that. If you're paying $200, 10 weeks, that's $2,000 in 10 weeks. And we have 40 more weeks, 42 more weeks of you paying that. So now you just simple mathematics, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's just make it easy. 2 times 5 is $10,000. You've been paying $10,400 a year in insurance that you barely use. Where could that money be best served at? At Blue Cross Blue Shield, or in your company, or in your pocket? This is the leverage that we have at the 1099. Now, that says insurance. Add your dental, add your optical, add your workman's comp. All of those deductions come out of your check. Add your 401k, whatever you're contributing, whether you believe it or not, 401k has been in trouble for the past 25 years. 401k has been struggling since the housing market crash. Because a lot of you were putting your money into the housing market through 401k. You didn't know that. You didn't know that. But 401k took a big hit during the housing market crash. Now, if you watch, 401k has been putting a lot of money into cryptocurrency, which cryptocurrency is as volatile as you can get. It's more volatile than penny stocks, if y'all ever know or follow the stock market. When it hits, it hits. Oh my God, it hits good. But you won't see the majority of that hit. You will never see the majority of that hit because the average employee does not invest in 401k aggressively. Y'all invest moderately. So that means y'all play y'all money safe because you don't know if you're going to be at this job long enough. And if you have not transferred, see, some of y'all have quit jobs that had a 401k and you didn't transfer your 401k to the new job. Y'all lost that money. Did y'all know that? If you knew that, put a 1 in the comments. Every time you transfer a job that you got a 401k and you did not transfer your 401k to the new job, you lost all that money that you was putting in for the time that you worked at. So now, let's just say, all right, all of those deductions that you added up, multiply that times 4 because that's what you're paying in every month. And then you take that number and divide that by, multiply by 4. That's going to give you what your monthly is. And then multiply that number by 12. That's where our negotiating power lies. That number, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be well over $20,000. Well over $20,000 that you have just saved your new partner. Now, instead of saying, well, I want to, the company is bringing you in. Well, we bring everybody in at $1,650. No, that's what you bring employees in at, $1,650. I'm not an employee. And I just saved your company 20 grand. 20 grand. Let's just slide 10 of that on over here to my annual salary. See, this is why you got to do your homework. If that job is coming in, if you feel comfortable enough to know that you can get $1,650 out of that company, simple mathematics, ladies and gentlemen, $1,650. Let me pull up my calculator. Dadgummit. Y'all finna make me do this for y'all. Woo-wee. All right, calculator. All right. If that company is bringing you in at $1,650, and then on a 40-hour work week, that's right, that's $660 a week, which is really peanuts, times 4 weeks, which is $2,640 a month, $2,640 a month, times 12 months, that's $31,680 at $1,650. Do y'all know what the national poverty level is? 27.5. Let's deduct this. $27,500 is the national poverty level. You are only over the poverty level by $4,180. and we wonder why we can't get ahead. We wonder why we can't get ahead. So if you have already negotiated and you already did your homework, and you know that you can get $1,650 out of them, which is $31,600, $31,680 a year, you can slide an extra $10,000 over there, and now you at $41,680 a year. Now, these are not concrete numbers because I don't know where you live. I don't know what state you're in. I don't know what city you're in, and I don't know what the job market is there. But this is the power and the leverage of being a 1099. And that's just based off of the amount of money that you have saved that company right then. Now, that number is going to change too, because I don't know what all deductions you have coming out of your paycheck. Only you. That's why I told y'all to grab a paycheck, add up all those deductions, because that's where your negotiating power is, and whatever that dollar amount is. Now, you can even do that currently with what you're making right now. Some of y'all might be making $25, $30 an hour. Some of you might be making that. Now, part two to that contract is my contracts state I work 45 hours a week. I'm an hourly contract, 45 hours a week, no overtime. Now, some of y'all just cringe. No overtime? 45 hours straight pay? Pause now. Like the young folks say, pause. Let me tell you why I do 45 hours a week with straight pay. There are some holidays that your company are closed. I can feel your wheels turning in your head while I stick with 45 hours a week, straight pay. That's 9 hours a day on a 5-day work week, 45 hours. Or if you're working a 6-day work week, that's less hours, but 6 days. But here's the thing. You automatically know 4th of July, you're going to be closed if it's during the week. Thanksgiving, you know you're going to be closed. That's the last Thursday in every year, so that's during the week. And Christmas, the 25th, it rotates. If it's during the week, you're going to be closed. Most likely, you are going to be off from the 25th until after the 1st. A lot of companies do inventory that time of year. And I kind of do inventory that time of year. Now, I'm just gonna sprinkle this seasoning on there real quick. Y'all thought that those bonus checks that y'all got for Christmas, y'all thought that the company was very appreciative of you. No, that money was already yours. You was gonna get that money anyway. They just dressed it up and said, "Ooh, we're gonna give y'all a Christmas bonus." And boy, y'all lost y'all mind because now we got more money to give Walmart to buy them flat screen TV. Man, they got an 85-inch TV on Walmart for $400. You gotta understand how this matrix works, y'all. But anywho, you're gonna be closed. For all of you who are employees and your company is closed on those holiday times, you don't get paid. Now, some of y'all might think, yeah, we do, man. I get paid, man. If I work the day before the holiday and the day after the holiday, I get paid. Wow. I'm going to blow y'all mind because you learn a lot of stuff when you become a privatized citizen. The money that the company pays you is already yours. They are paying you with your own money that comes out of your securities trust that the Federal Reserve has been flipping since the day you were born. Y'all, you ain't got to believe it. Listen to me now. Believe me later on. Believe me later on. Every job that you've ever had, that money, it comes from the company in the form of a paycheck and for the purposes of earned income so they can charge you taxes, but that money is reimbursed to the corporate entity from your securities trust. Why? Because that company owns you. I told y'all, man. I told y'all. You learn a lot of stuff. You learn a lot of stuff when you start knowing where to read and where to look and how to find information. Every paycheck that you have received in your life has come out of your securities trust. Now, it came with the company's name on it. And not only are they paying you with your own money, they're charging you taxes on your own money. Man, ain't this a God-blessed country we live in? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been done. This has been done since the Federal Reserve was created and the United States became two separate governing systems. One is the United States of America. The other one is the United States Corporation. See, you ain't got to believe me. I know it sounds fantastic. Man, that dude up there lying. All you got to do, don't tell me I'm lying when you haven't even done the research and read a book yet. Then, when you find it in a book that contradicts what I'm saying, then we can have a dialogue. But I only debate with my equal. Everybody else I teach. I don't have time for somebody to get in their feelings and say, man, that just don't even sound right. A lot of stuff don't sound right. A lot of stuff don't sound right. Plants breathe in carbon monoxide and exchange that with oxygen so we can breathe. What? A lot of stuff don't sound right. A lot of stuff don't sound right. How can a baby live in a sack of water for 9 months, but then it'll drown once it comes outside of the sack of water? That don't make sense. A lot of stuff don't sound right. Now let's move on because I'm getting going into the weeds. But now, so when we understand where that money comes from, stop letting, at the top of this, I said businesses talk to other businesses. So you being a corporation now are getting access and activating your ability to tap into that securities trust fund. This is why it's a beautiful life. You guys can go ahead and start dropping in your questions, man. When we're getting at that time, you can start dropping in your questions and we're going to start answering them. So when you gain access to that, now you pay your own taxes, which you will find the IRS tax code is not written for employees. The IRS tax code is written for businesses. This is the main reason why you want to incorporate your name. Let me give you an example. How do I attain an LLC? Simple, Gary. You can go several ways. Generally, what people do is go through the state that they live in. You go through the Secretary of State. You can do it your own. I teach my clients how to do it on their own, which in some states is very costly. The LLC price is different from state to state. Some states charge as little as $15. Some states charge as much as $1,000. Now, the majority of people that don't want to learn how to do it, which I think is an invaluable thing to do when you don't learn how to do this, it's so easy. But everybody wants to use the term, I ain't got time to do it. Damn it, we got the same 24 hours our grandparents had. We got the same 24 hours our great-grandparents had. Everybody got the same time. My grandmother used to tell me, you do what you want to do. Now, here's the problem why when you don't learn it. Somebody will always take your money. Now, you can get Taylor Brands to do it. I think they charge like $1,000. You can get LegalZoom to do it. I think they charge $800. So now you're paying those prices plus the state fees. You already in the rear already. Now they will send you all your paperwork and everything. It might take them 2-3 weeks, might take them a month. I'll show my clients how to do it in 1 hour. 1 hour. Now, not only do I show you how to do it, yes, and I do charge a fee. I'm just being transparent and honest. I'm not telling you that. But I'm not giving you a fish sandwich. I'm teaching you how to fish. After you learn how to do it, you don't need me no more. You can open as many businesses as you want. There is no law that says you can't have multiple businesses. Look at all the sharks on Shark Tank. Those folks got a lot of businesses. A lot. They call it a portfolio, which is a good thing. You got your hands in a lot of different things. But if you're interested in taking my course, stick around. I'll give you the email address. I can show you how to do that. How much is my fee? My fee is $2.99, Gary. Now, for that $2.99, I not only just teach you how to set up and create the LLC, I teach you how to protect yourself. I teach you how to leverage and use the laws of the IRS tax code to maximize your money. See, Gary, most people don't even know. See, as an employee, you only get to write off 2 pair of boots. 2 pair of boots. Oh my God. I know some of y'all done bought more than 2 pair of shoes for work. But as an employee, you can only write off 2 pair. See, as a 1099, everything. Let me tell you something. As a 1099, I sold my truck to my company, which my truck became a company car. I can write off everything on my truck. Currently, as an employee, you can't write off nothing. All your car payments, you just making it rain to the dealership or to the bank. All of your oil changes, your tires, every time you get a detail, all you doing is doing this right here. You making it rain for somebody else. When I do it, it's a tax deduction and a write-off. It's a tax deduction and a write-off. When you wear clothes to work, everybody does. I hope y'all do. Unless you are OnlyFans or whatever that is, but that's different. That just came out of nowhere. I'm sorry, y'all. But if you are a regular person, you wear clothes every day to work. That money that you spent on those clothes came out of your pocket. I don't own nothing. I don't own this t-shirt. I don't own this chain. I don't own my pants. I don't own my socks. My business owns everything, and they allow me to use it. Therefore, everything that I spend money on, as I can prove it to the IRS, is a tax deduction and a write-off. Right now, I know so many people got excited and happy, and man, they was ecstatic when they found out they were gonna get $3,000 back. I laughed. I was like, wow, really? That's all? That's all? See, the more deductions you can put on your business forms, that puts you in a lower tax bracket, not higher. You don't want to be in a higher tax bracket where you're paying more taxes. You want those deductions and decreases to put you in a lower tax bracket to simply say that my business spent more money than I made. Y'all want to have a hallelujah good time over a tax return? Man, where do you get that thing that come back 17,000? You ain't just buying a flat screen TV no more. You're getting your whole kitchen and bathroom remodeled. Now let me get over here to I gotta reset this thing on dude. I don't know why they do this to me every time. There we go. All right. So this is the leverage and power that we have at 1099. 1099, we have that. Let me see. After I get the LLC, what next? After you get the LLC, you open up a business bank account, and then you formulate your contracts. I told you about my fee already. I think I got it. Okay. Anybody else with any more questions? I don't see any more questions on here. Just got the number one. Okay. Boom. I'm in alignment with all that. I need you to contact me. Actually, Gary, you will send me an email and we will do a consult to see if we're a good fit. Consult is about 15 minutes. The reason why I do a consult on everybody is because over the years of doing this, ladies and gentlemen, and some of y'all who follow me already know, I don't teach nobody how to do no bank loans. Nope. Will not, won't not. I'm not teaching you credit card stacking. I'm not teaching you. Do I know that stuff? Yes, I do. I do that stuff myself. But until you change this, your thinking and understanding how money works, I won't teach anybody that, because you're going to put yourself in a worse situation than what you are in now. I don't know what anybody's current situation is, but I have had so many people that in my earlier years of teaching or advising, all they wanted to know was how to get some more money. And you learn after a while of people putting larceny on your name, that, man, that program don't work, man. And then you get down to the nitty gritty and you find out that they done went out there and ran up almost $80,000 in credit card bills. I ain't had nothing to do with that. Somebody got to pay that bill. Somebody got to pay that debt. Folks going out here getting loans, and unless you have a 10,000 square foot building and at least 75 employees, forget about getting a loan. People out here trying to go out here and buy cars, and they got business credit, but they buying stuff under their business credit and never fix their personal credit. And then when that bank that they went to open up their business bank account made them co-sign their own business. See, because people be trying to think they faster than the average, they smarter than the average bank. And then they walk right up in there and let that bank talk them into co-signing their own bank account. Woo. And then you find your personal social security number on there with the business, which your business has its own social number. That's what the EIN is. See, people think they smart. And if you ain't learned how to fix your personal credit and you over the age of 25, you done worked all year. You done spent your whole income tax money already. They just told you what you was getting back and you done already blew it. But you ain't fixed your credit? No, I ain't gonna teach nobody how to get no bank loan. And it's easy. It's real easy. Hell, Truist will give you $50,000. Truist will give you 50. PNC will give you 15. That gun Fifth Third will give you 30. You can have $250,000 availability in less than 30 days. But see, that's because people, they don't want to learn and understand how the matrix works. Because if you understood and knew how the matrix works, you would understand and know that money means absolutely nothing if you don't know how to make your money work. You can't save yourself to $1 million. I don't care who you are. You will die first. It ain't enough numbers in a lifespan for you to save to $1 million. The average person can't even fathom and understand what $1 million look like. Most of them don't even know. When you start dealing with people on a regular basis and everybody be talking about, man, I'm trying to get the bag. I'm trying to get the bag. Do you know what a bag is? A bag is $250,000. That's what a bag is. That comes on the Brinks truck. I ain't talking about no damn bank bag that you put in the night deposit drop from work. That ain't no bag. What, they got 5, 10 grand in there? See, everything to live this life, the goal is to be free. I ask this question a lot to people, and we're getting ready to wrap up. If somebody else was paying your bills, all of your bills, think of all the bills and the debts that you have. If somebody else was paying them, what would you need money for? Why would you need money? You debt free. You debt free. Somebody give me that answer real quick in the chat while we close. If somebody else was paying you, ask anybody in your family, ask any of your friends, ask your preacher, your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your favorite person, the person that you think got more money than everybody that you know, ask them that same question. And listen to what they tell you. It will blow your mind on what people think they know, but they don't know. I asked this one time, I was doing a speech in McDonald, Georgia, and I asked that question to the people that was out there listening. And one guy said, man, I would invest in stock. Wow. That was a good, unbelievable answer. And I'm going to tell you why that was unbelievable. One, he said what he thought sounded intelligent, which he did. Then I asked him, what stock? What stock would you invest in? Do you know how many stocks are on the stock exchange? Which one? Then here it comes. Here it comes. Man, I'll bet you something like Coca-Cola or Walmart. Again, another good, unbelievable answer. And I said, okay, how much is Walmart and Coca-Cola trading at right now per share? Oh, no. Well, how do you know you're going to invest if you don't know how much the shares are? See, sometimes you can't give people, especially a person like me. I mean, I've been doing this long enough to know, bro, I don't know what I would do, man, if I had $20,000, I don't know what I'd do. I ain't never had $20,000 to even make that a question. See, that would be the correct, smart answer. I don't even know, man. I don't know. If I had $20,000, what would you do right now if you had $20,000? Most people would say, man, I'll pay off some bills. And you still ain't going to have enough money to pay off all your bills. You better pay off some of them. You don't better pay off all of them. You'll put a good debt. And that's if you don't buy nothing for yourself. Y'all know how we do. Especially my own people. I've been black all my life. I know how we do. Boy, we get that income tax check, boy, we rich for 30 days. I know how we do. I know how people do. Because people are people. Everybody do the same thing. Buy stuff that don't make no money. We go further in debt by buying cars with the bad credit that we have that is at a high interest rate. We'll try to fight to have it and own it for 6 months so we don't look embarrassed, and then they wind up repoing it. But hell, being repoed, that ain't nothing new to us. Family, we got to understand how money works. And we got to understand the words and the terminologies that companies and corporations use between each other. See, so when you go in and you become a 1099, the whole dynamic changes. Because now here's the thing, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to warn you, if you decide to do this, you will never, ever receive another check with your name on it. Because they didn't hire you. They hired the business. Or they partnered with the business. See, I told you, we got to make sure we use the right lingo. They partnered with me. You can't find a check stub with my name on it in the past 12 years. You can't find an address with my name on it in the past 10 years. I don't own anything. What? Ladies and gentlemen, you are only taxed on what you earn and what you own. If you don't own nothing, you can't be taxed on it. But our parents and our grandparents told us all our lives, man, you need to put your name on something. Lie. That's the big lie. Even a rich person in the world, a wealthy person in the world, that got their name on nothing except Donald Trump. But hold on. Donald Trump incorporated, trademarked, and copywritten, wrote his name. So everything that Trump's name is on, he gets paid for it. That's why we need to. I used to wonder that. People think Trump made his money off of real estate. Trump is a terrible real estate agent. He is terrible at real estate development. Terrible. But if you notice, his name is on everything. Now, that'll be a discussion for another day, because then I can teach you how to not only trademark and copyright your name and register your name as a logo and get paid off of that. I'm in the next week or so, I'm going to show y'all how you can put a lien on yourself. Oh, now that is some game. Being able to put a $50 million lien on you. Now, that's getting up more into the private. So for my people who are taking private citizenship, that's something that you're going to be getting into. We're going to cover that in the training course. Because when you put a lien on yourself, ain't nobody going to touch you, especially if you're in the legal system. Because ain't nobody going to want to pay that lien debt to have you. Now, that works a lot in the criminal element, wherever, a lot of these wealthy people, when you hear about them embezzling millions and billions of dollars, and then they don't never see no jail time, that's because they got a lien on their name. And we get mad at wealthy people. We get mad at wealthy people for beating the system, but the system allowed itself to be beat. This is why I tell y'all, man, you got to know how to play this game if you want to be in this game. A lot of these people will never see jail time because they got $100 million lien on their name. And if you get arrested and that paperwork pops up. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, we can't hold him. Anybody ever did any research on the word habeas corpus? Y'all look that word up. Well, y'all think Harvey Weinstein ain't never seen no jail time. And he was just a bigger pervert as P. Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein. Ain't never seen nobody jail. And that man was raping women, or graping. Let me say that, graping. I forgot I'm on TikTok. But that man was, he was doing some unconscionable things to women on the set of the movie. And they still had to go out there and act. It ain't funny. God knows it ain't funny. But that man ain't seen no jail time. He got a lien. And you can set that lien amount for whatever. So if anybody ever was to take possession of your body, your habeas corpus, if they was to take possession of your body, whoever is holding your body gotta pay that lien. They gotta pay that debt. Ain't no jail gonna want to give you $100 million. Because what that money goes to? Your trust. Yeah. If I'd have not really lived a life, that's why it's impossible why Jeffrey Epstein would kill himself. I didn't know that man had a private island. Again, privatized citizen, private island in international waters. See how this game is being already played by wealthy people. We just haven't caught up with it. That's why he had no need to unalive himself. He was an international private citizen. Neither U.S. No, he had his own country, his own island. That's the word, private island. That's why they didn't go out there on the island and get him. Being in international water puts you under NATO jurisdiction. You would have had to get it approved through NATO to go out there. But being that he caused trouble amongst American citizens, America got the opportunity to capture him while he was in the U.S. See, it's a lot to this game. Y'all got to learn more than just thinking that y'all gonna get away and just collect your security trust. I appreciate y'all for listening, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Any more questions before we sign off? Any more questions before we sign off? On my pillow, says, baby, time to answer one more before we go. Trace circles at her neckline. Any more questions? We just hum along. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace. I got a woman so